So let's face it, the harsh reality is that the majority of men have been emasculated through society, through and through means of government assistance and incentivizing divorces and the separation of the nuclear family. For starters, let's start with child support, where it's something that was meant to be a temporary solution that became permanent. And so permanent that women have actually brainwashed themselves into believing that they don't need a man, even though they're replacing a man with the government, and by in turn, still needing a man. And men grow up every single day understanding that they are supposed to provide and protect, and the government has simply diminished them down to nothing by taking away their ability to provide and protect. And as a society, we almost promote this single motherhood culture so women can get more benefits. You see this also happen time and time again where couples are married for maybe a decade and maybe the mother comes down with cancer. And now all of a sudden they have to get a divorce because she's eligible for more benefits as a single mother who is, divorced than she would being married to her husband. And this is a way that society is set up to tell men that either you can stay in the home where you have to work twice as hard and be away from your family, where essentially women will take control of the household, and he also is further emasculated by his leadership being taken away because he's out making money, he's trying to do his job and provide, where the women come in and they take over the ownership and the leadership of how the household is run, and essentially it diminishes them even further. Another example of this is in the workplace where women have taken over men's spaces. For example, they want to work in trade jobs. Women are still given the lesser of the jobs, and a lot of these jobs have to meet certain quotas and hire women just to say that they are not discriminating. They are the protected class. So for example, a woman might want to be a mechanic, but she might take twice as long to get a job done because she can't have the physical strength to pick up tires and get them done in a timely manner to be able to basically be equal with the men, but essentially she still is going to get that job because they need women in that field. You also see this in training. We all have to take more sensitivity classes, or we have to take, gender bias classes. We have to learn how to talk to people a certain way in female dominated spaces, and they're only female dominated because we have to meet quotas of hiring a certain level or caliber of women despite their ability to do the job correctly and right or fast enough. And that's like indirectly emasculating a man, because imagine you've worked 20 years in your trade and you have the skill level that is nowhere near a woman, but a woman steps in and gets a job and basically does office work, in the same field as you just because she's a woman. So all of the power and all of the ambition and all of the motivation that you felt getting that job and doing that job is simply being stripped away from you by default because we have to hire a certain number of women in a field. Even down to HR spaces. Some jobs never even had an HR department, but because now they're forced to hire women, now we have to accommodate a woman's experience in the way that we talk to them, how we greet them, how we show up. And men have to change everything about them to basically cater to these women, even though it's a male-dominated space. And if we don't cater to women, then we're considered toxic, or we're considered misogynistic, or, we hate women, even though that couldn't be further from the truth, because the reality is that sometimes, even if you're a woman and you want to be in a certain trade, doesn't mean that you're qualified for that job. But now society has set it up where it doesn't matter if you're qualified or not. It just matters how many people we have in a certain space by gender. And let's just take this a step further. It's not just romantic relationships, but it's the way that women can emasculate men through their children, because his leadership goes out the window with the mother being home all day or being the primary caretaker in a divorce. So by default, he gets his children taken away, and it's incentivized again to take the power away from the men to be able to provide, but also having a father in the home. And let's not forget the overall diminishing of masculinity by preaching it's toxic and it's inherently harmful, thus making men feel powerless in their own ability to provide and protect, despite all of the information that we have surrounding fatherless homes. On one hand, men are able to teach young boys respect and how to love and care for their family, and also to be there for the physiological changes that men go through that women don't understand. And in the same way, he's there to teach his daughter what real respect and real loving relationships are and how to respect herself so she doesn't have daddy issues later on. And despite all of this information and how, children will grow up in worse situations, either with depression or more involved in criminal activity, without a father in the home, society will still set it up to brainwash women into believing that they don't need a man because the government steps in to basically be their baby daddy. And this emasculation and the absence of fathers and men's masculinity being toxic has only set up a society of narcissistic women, controlling women, sociopathic women, and women that need control because they don't know how to take leadership from a man. And it's truly brainwashed women into believing that they are the more powerful source just because they work, they have a job, they have finances, and they have incentivized divorces and basically don't need a man. But in reality, the man in the relationship is the government. And this will never stop because so many people benefit from things like child support. You have lawyers, you have, the judges, you have even the bailiffs. You have anyone who is involved with the court system benefiting directly off the downfall and the emasculation of men through child support and other incentivized programs. And when you really think about it, it's really crazy that when women get more powerful or in their mind, they're more independent, their first thought is to take down men. But when men have power, their first thought is to take care of women. So essentially what we have is the oppressed now being the oppressor. And women have been so desensitized to a man's experience that it has led to so much narcissism that when it comes to accountability, she doesn't understand it. And the reason why women don't understand accountability is because they are the abusers. They are the legal system. They might even cohabitate with a man. So you are living together, you are doing all of the things as a married couple, but she is never going to get married because it benefits her more to be a single mother and still get government assistance and all of the benefits to where men don't even have to provide anymore. Is that not emasculation through society where you are stripping and diminishing men down to nothing to where even providing for a woman isn't good enough? And let's not forget that if he doesn't pay his child support, then he could lose his trade, he could lose his license, he could be put in jail. There's all of these consequences for these men to provide, but then they lose the ability to have their leadership in place to raising their family. So you've taken out their masculinity and their ability to provide in the workplace. You've taken away their ability to provide through, financial means and being married to a woman by government assistance and incentivized divorces and promoting this single mother culture. You've also diminished them because they feel powerless in romantic relationships where the women can use their kids against them. They can claim SA, they can claim DV without any proof, and that man will spend years and thousands of dollars in legal fees just to get his reputation back. And when his reputation is ruined, then you're taking away his motivation, his power, his ability to have self-worth as a man. And what's really sad is that we have brainwashed women into believing that their independence is real, but it is a facade based on the ability of men still paying child support, supposedly not being involved, government assistance, and we have diminished and emasculated men into nothing while simultaneously preaching that we want good men in the world. We need men to pay for my nails, pay for my hair, be there. So we get to nitpick and choose our equality, and that's just not how equality works. Okay, bye.
All right, y'all. This is why women come back after leaving. Let's get into it, family. Women tend to make decisions in the heat of the moment, where the thoughts are super loud and extremely hard to quiet. And we make a move, not in clarity, but all in our feelings. The reality is it's unforgiveness that has turned into real resentment. And you feel, or she feels like she doesn't feel anything for that person anymore. But really it's unforgiveness. So then we explode in bitterness. But what we don't understand and we don't realize is that bitterness and resentment are strong feelings, just in the wrong direction. And so once they leave the relationship and some time has passed and in uncomfortable, they start to remember the positive things. Start thinking that, man, this probably could have worked out. And we quickly realize that unforgiveness that turned into resentment and bitterness was the end of a relationship you never truly wanted to end.
Okay, so there seems to be a lot of talk about if a woman and a man both have a career, then it should be 50-50. That's what a lot of people are saying. But then at the same time, they backtrack and they say it shouldn't be 50-50. These are all women, right? So like, what is it that you want? You don't want 50-50 or you do want 50-50? Because this is the problem that I have with feminism. This is the problem that men have with feminism. This is why men keep saying that they want more, traditional values. They want more feminine women. You guys don't even know what you want yourselves. You complain about, well, if a woman and a man both have a career, then they should split everything up and house chores should be divided by both 50-50. But then at the same time, you don't want to pay 50-50 for everything. Just the house chores should be divided 50-50. But you don't want to pay 50-50. You want the man to pay for most of the things. So that's where I'm confused. That's where I don't understand what is going on, because that's not feminism. If you want the 50-50, it has to be 50-50 with everything. And that includes bills. You can't expect to not be a feminine woman and then expect for a man to be a masculine man. That's what this whole thing is about. That's why men have a problem with it. And I see it. And I don't understand how you guys don't see it. This is the hypocrisy behind feminism. It's just one-sided. It only benefits women and it's not equal. It's more towards the women, way more towards the women. It basically just wants to put men completely down and women up here. You know why it works for foreign cultures when the man and the woman both work, they both have careers, and the woman still takes her role and she's still feminine, she still takes care of the house. The man also takes care of the house, but in his masculine role. They both come together, they embrace their genders, they embrace their differences, and they work as one, they work as a couple, they work to build a home together. The woman wants to take care of her man, she wants to take care of her family. It's just naturally in her. That's her natural instinct. That's why it works for foreign couples. And the man, same thing. He wants to take care of her in different ways. And they come together and they make it work, and that's a beautiful life. That's how it should be. A man and a woman should embrace their gender differences, come together, and build a beautiful life like that. And by that woman taking care of her man and being a feminine role in that household, it motivates the man to take care of her. Maybe financially if he can, maybe she doesn't have to pay anything. But you know what? A lot of the times, unfortunately, in today's society, both people have to work, and that's just the reality of it. But it doesn't mean that you still can't embrace your gender roles as much as possible. Doesn't mean that the man shouldn't help out. Of course he should, but should the homemaking be more of a woman's job? Yeah, it should be. We're more nurturing. That's just in us. The man is made to be more masculine. He's made to, take care of the house in different ways, to fix everything around the house, things that we can't do. So if you as a woman want to be happy, stop listening to this nonsense, sprinkle nonsense, because it's going to lead you nowhere. Stop listening to feminism. I have never ever met a woman that's truly happy when she's in her masculine role. I've never met a happy masculine woman. So just a heads up, if you want to be happy,
80% of single women aren't even interested in dating a guy anymore. Do you know why? Because men are not men anymore.
Allow me to chime in here, because I did like his explanation, but I think it's actually sadder and even simpler than that. I hate to say it, but I think that at this point, a majority, even if it's just a 55% of men, don't like women. At least not enough to actually date them. And they just want the concept of a girlfriend, but they don't actually want a girlfriend. And I explained this the other day when it was going viral on Threads. Men don't even act like they like us that much anymore, so why should we keep trying? And he's right, men aren't planning dates, they aren't asking us questions. It's like pulling teeth teeth over here. And I don't think it's that we don't want to date, it's that we're tired. And when I say this, I mean, I don't think that all men hate women, right? I just think that at a base level, a lot of them don't really enjoy us as much as they think they do. Does that make sense? Like the last few men that I talked to, which was very few, they were nice guys. I would still describe them as nice guys. They were generally good people. And I still think they are. I just don't really think they wanted a girlfriend. I think they wanted the concept of one. They would repost like memes and stuff about dating and wanting to get a girlfriend. Then we'd start seeing each other. And they were super duper invested at first, right? They just wanted the chase and the game, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm very consistent. I show up, I know what I want. And the moment that finally clicked to them, it scared every single one of them off. Me becoming a real person with my own personality that wasn't just a woman they made up in their mind freaked them out. And I've heard this experience from every single woman I know right now. Men literally can't handle the fact that women are real people that exist outside their brains. And when they do finally face that fact, they do that thing where they keep showing up and talking to you, but it seems like they low-key hate you. And it's like, why am I still seeing a man who seems like he hates me? I want to date someone who's excited about me. And I think that does fit into his, like, men aren't acting like men anymore, right? They're not showing up, they're not doing the things. Yeah, because that's what emotionally healthy people on both ends do when they're dating. They show up and they're excited and they do the things. And I think women are just exhausted in being the only one trying, because it's obvious to us that men just want the concept of that. They pretend they want to date, but then when they actually get the real thing, they run off and then complain about how they're single. Because it's easier to live in a fantasy world instead of doing the work. So why should women continue to try and force them to?
And you got a lot of these brothers out here that, you know, they say stuff like, oh, you know, I feel like I'm auditioning for a role that I didn't even know about. Yeah, exactly. And that's what you see, and that's what you hear with a lot of these clips, is that modern women, they're testing you. They do. And you know, I understand that people are going to ask questions and look for answers. That's normal. But modern women have a lot of stupid stuff going on that men are tired of being a part of. And they get upset about that.
Women are complicated. Yes, I said it. Yes, it's the truth. We are complicated, and don't even try to tell me otherwise, because we know we are. We want romance, but don't drown us in kisses, candles, and roses. We want you to ravage us, but with class. Don't treat us like a hoe, but also don't be a jerk. Actually, be a little bit of a jerk, but also sweet. Confused yet? Good. Welcome to frickin' womanhood. We are walking contradictions. We are fire and water at the same time. We want to be taken, but we also want to be adored. We want the masculine edge, but we want it wrapped in emotional safety. And yes, it is your job to figure out the code. Why? Because when you master us, you unlock everything. You want her on your knees? Done. You want her to call you daddy? Yes, daddy. You want her to fulfill your wildest fantasies? She will do it. Why? Because you cracked the code. You pressed the right buttons and you didn't give up. Shoot, even I can't even figure myself out sometimes, but my husband did. He cracked the code. That's why I am his. That's why I respect him 100%, and that's why I go all in for him. And let's get real here for a second. We are biologically designed to connect, man and woman. We are supposed to build together, to complement each other. That is human nature. So when I hear these guys in my comments saying, oh, forget this, I'm just gonna stay single, I laugh, because no, you won't. Maybe for a little while, sure, but eventually that gets old. The hookups get old. The soulless gets old. What are you even working towards at that point? What are you really gaining? At the end of the day, you do want connection, you want depth, you want loyalty, and that does not come from staying single and swiping on apps forever. It comes from mastering a woman, committing to her, and putting the effort in to figure her out. And yes, it is work. Yes, it costs time, energy, and money. But guess what? When you get it right, it's worth everything, because then you're not lonely. You've got your freaking bed, you've got your best friend, you've got somebody to show off, who builds with you, somebody who multiplies your life. Women are complicated. We're supposed to be, but once you learn how to lead, how to love, and how to stand in your masculine, and how to press the right buttons, you'll never want to go back. Master her. Don't give up on her, and you will have the kind of love and loyalty that men dream about having. Stop lying to yourself.
And the fifth and final red flag is that this girl is not serious about her faith. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 tells us not to be unequally yoked with a non-believer. or an unbeliever. Meaning, you should not date anybody who does not share the same faith and the same values that you have. If you're a born-again believer, the only type of woman that you should date is another born-again believer. Not a Jehovah's Witness, not a Mormon, not an atheist, not an agnostic, not a Catholic, okay? You should not date anybody who has different views than you do because you're not equally yoked together. If you get married to this woman and you're planning on having a family and raising kids and you're going to be working because you're the provider and the protector of the house, and her role is going to be to raise your children and teach them God's word and all these things. If she's not even a believer and you don't believe the same thing, how is that ever going to work? It's not. It's going to be a total waste of time. You're going to get divorced.
She's very big on this like feminine energy, masculine energy thing. I don't believe in it. And she was like, oh, why do I always talk so dismissively? I said, do you know that all the things you describe as masculine energy are irresponsible adults taking care of themselves?
Yeah.
Yes. Every single thing that you make, because she talks about it in a way. And I said, every time you share this idea, you're making women who are already sort of like socialized to think of, they have to perform weakness in a very specific way. I don't know how to do that. So I don't know. They have to perform it. Even if you can, you have to perform it. I said, all these things you talk about, like paying bills, paying rent, is literally just responsibility.
Like this is just, as a grown person on your own, this is just what you have to do.
And then you talk about femininity as, for lack of a better word, just weakness, waiting. You're waiting around for somebody to figure something out for you. You're waiting.
I mean, I said something very similar in a podcast and they just turned it upside down. And I was like, that is not what I said now. I didn't say be a man in your relationship. What I'm saying
I remember this.
Yes, what I'm saying is, as an adult, you have to be, God forbid, there are a lot of women that they've lost their husband. Did they plan for it? Did they pray for it? What now happens when you lose a partner? Nobody is praying for it. I mean, my parents, they've been married for 40 years now. Glory to them. I'm hoping for the same. But my point is, as an adult, you should be able to be responsible
for yourself.
Be responsible for yourself.
It's so crazy. And then,
like, partnership and marriage is great because then now you can have complementary. But
so
you can't behave as if you're a baby.
I have my child now. My husband says, "Oh, you've born child. I'm so proud. Take this $20,000 gift for having the child." That's spoiling. I enjoy that. Oh, this is your car. You need a newer version. Take 2024 model of this car. Spoiling. I love it. Does that now mean that I'm going home? We need egg. I can't branch and buy egg, even though they are not selling it for 800. I can't buy it. I'll not say, hello, your daddy is not la. Really? No, let's stop it. So is that thing of you have to be a weak person? You don't have to be a weak person.
It's
to
just,
be loved,
I just don't
to be
like
a
the
woman.
language.
I don't like it either way. And there's a way, to be honest, even on this thing of like where you're socialized to take care of men, where they become babies. Let me tell you my worst video content thing. When women do that, oh my God, I asked him to do this and he doesn't know how to do it. I hate all those videos. I hate them.
Or they say they asked him to buy heavy cream. He bought
all those videos
cream.
of, I'm in the store. Oh my God, he bought this other thing. He thought like the diaper cream was, and I'm just like, please, I get it. You know, it's meant to, can we please get it together?
What about you for women?
I wish women didn't have unrealistic expectations in terms of expecting men to behave like women. A lot of male behavior is perceived and interpreted as if we were women. So their automatic interpretation or perception of what a man does is, if that were me, that would have been the reason I did it. So that has to be the reason he did it. And I just think that women need to be more understanding about men have different value systems. So a lot of the times, if you perceive something that he does to have ill will or be bad faith or be spiteful, it's not necessarily that. Especially like truth telling or being honest. Like women believe they're the arbiters of morality in a lot of ways, and they're quick to say that makes you a bad person if you do something they dislike or they disagree with, whereas men, we're just a lot more straightforward. We're a lot more objective and logical. So a lot of times when we say things, it can come off as abrasive or insensitive, but we don't see it that way. We just see that there's value in the truth being told as it is, whereas women don't necessarily take it that way, and that creates a lot of conflict in relationship.
And of course, you have modern women that continue to say, well, I want to be chased. I want to be pursued. A man pursues. That's just what a man does. Not anymore. Not in this day and age. After you out here running around acting crazy. And even when the man does finally, quote unquote, catch you, all the while he was chasing you, and even when he, quote unquote, catches you, he's still getting taken for granted. What kind of life is that? Who would want to live a life like that? Raise your hand.
Years ago, my husband told me that I was a bare minimum wife and mother. This obviously upset me. I felt like I was doing everything. I was raised by a mother who contracted out raising us. Worked full-time, and our coaches, teachers, the heavy lifting of raising us. So as a stay-at-home mom who makes home-cooked meals every night with her children from sun up to sundown, eyes open to eyes closed every single day, what do you mean I'm bare minimum? So I took this very personally because he didn't really elaborate. Started doing all this extra stuff like making butter, making pasta from scratch, doing all this extra stuff. Now I'm in his face like, who's bare minimum now? Who's bare minimum me? It was still me. I was still bare minimum because it wasn't my culinary skills that he was talking about. He wasn't looking for handmade pasta. He was looking for a wife and a mother who did her job and did it without an attitude. Saw her children as a blessing rather than a burden. Brought peace and comfort and light to the home. But I was so angry with his honesty that instead of taking a second to consider that maybe I was bare minimum, sis, you can do all the work in the world, but if your attitude is stinking up your home, it's gonna be your legacy. That's gonna be all that's remembered. And most of the time, the problem is we just need to slow down. Now, this is something that I'm still working on, still working through. And recently, it was something that I needed to be reminded of. Cooking, cleaning, feeding your family is the easy part. But what attitude you do it with is gonna be what's remembered. Working way too hard, don't tarnish your legacy. 30 years from now, your children and your husband won't look back and remember that delicious butter. They'll remember overstimulated, touched out mother who screamed the whole time she made the butter, turned her back on her husband at the end of the night because she was so tired from churning her own butter.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm gonna be honest with you. For most women, it's not about what you do. It's about the attitude that you have when you do it. And that's what a lot of women that both work, a lot of women that are at home, it doesn't really matter where you are or what you do, it's how you do it. If a guy is a great provider and he takes care of all of your needs, but at the same time, he berates you every single time he does something for you, it no longer becomes enjoyable, right? If a guy has a lot of resources and he's a great provider, but at the same time, he's not generous, then you feel some type of way about it because a lot of women will then say, well, what is the point of making a lot of money if it doesn't come with the benefits of being able to spend it, right? And so when I give these examples, it sounds normal, right? It sounds like it makes sense, but it only makes sense from the person that is the receiver. It only makes sense because you are the person that's looking to get the benefits that come along with having a lot of resources, that comes with taking.
Dude. Guys, it is your girl's job to violently or deflect guys that talk to her. I'm gonna say that again for you guys. All right? Look, niggas, it is your girl's job to violently deflect men that come at her. Okay? Whether that means she is making herself hidden on social media, has no profile, or she doesn't go outside, or when she does go outside, she's like extremely abrasive when men talk to her, or she does other things to prevent men from talking to her. It is your woman's job to avoid men and not make herself accessible. It is your woman's job to do that. If she makes herself accessible and if she entertains other men, that is your sign in itself. And the reason why, guys, is that you must understand, right? When it comes to women, this is why people get mad at me when I say things like, yo, you gotta be careful if your girl has an Instagram like that, right? Or makes herself accessible. Women aren't like men. So what women will do is they'll make themselves available. And if you're stupid, you won't know the difference between making themselves available or not.
Part 1 on how to emasculate a man in 1 step. Tell him very proudly, I love your size, babe. The big ones hurt.
I just got asked to make a follow-up video about the top 5 things that men don't like about women. So 5 red flags that women do that really piss men off. And I'm going to caveat this one and say the number 1 thing that I look for, because this is all based upon my experience, Number one thing I look for is a woman that can handle conflict resolution and find a healthy compromise. And I feel like I have the best girlfriend on the planet now because we've been through some wild together and we've always found a way to come back together and work through it. Conflict resolution for me is number one, and I think it is for most men. So blink twice if you need help, right? Okay, no, just kidding. Anyways, top 5 things. I'm gonna go off the dome. Red flags that women do that men need to know about. My personal experience, and this is in no particular order. I'm gonna go number 5. When your social media following is so big that you feel the need to get and garner other attention from other men. Guys don't like this, right? I don't care if you're super pretty. You're a 10, you're an 11, you're a 12, awesome. But if you're constantly seeking and posting for male attention while you're trying to get a high value man in a relationship, it is going to take a very, very secure man for him to not really give a about that. You might even like the fact that you do that, and that's awesome. If you found that, good for you, okay? But most men don't really like that. If other guys are DMing you because you're posting bikini pics, that's just gonna piss the normal dude off, even if he is working, growing, and improving. It's gonna piss most men off. You're alienating a lot of men. Sorry. Number 4, when you are still in your princess phase. Nothing wrong with being a princess. Every girl goes through it. But if you are not actively working towards becoming a queen, which means you know how to actually be a woman with style and grace, see any woman from 1920 over the past 100 years, you know the difference between a princess and a woman, okay? Look at Grace Kelly. Look at anybody with a little bit of class. Huge difference between a princess and a woman. Men, really high value men, want women. We don't want to date a princess, and we certainly don't want to date a peasant who thinks she's a princess. Sorry. Number 3, here we go. When you speak poorly about us as men, if you're in a relationship with a dude and you're out with your girlfriends and you're either talking about us behind our back in a negative way or talking to friends and family, woo! Oh, that's a red flag. And then we find out about that later. That's a no-no, right? In relationships in today's day and world, healthy ways to handle this, you don't talk about each other in a negative way. You never talk bad about your partner behind their back. Talk poorly to their face, right? Be a man, be a person, be an adult, be a strong woman. Don't be afraid to say that. Handle conflict resolution like a boss, right? On the converse of that, if you speak poorly about your man in front of him, like you belittle him in front of your friends and your family, ooh, for me, that's number 1 for me. If you do that in front of me, I will lose all respect and trust, right? Like, I really just don't like that, okay? Let's hop to number 2. Number 2, I'm gonna say victim. When you play the victim card more often than an active, co-conscious creator in a partnership, that doesn't really help high value men. We want to save you, we want to protect and provide. We do want to do that, all that stuff. We also look for a partner, somebody that we can do that with. Resource gathering together. 2 heads, 2 minds are always better than 1. So when you're playing the victim and you constantly need saving, that's a little bit tough, okay? Number 1 is drama. When you bring more topsy-turvy energy, more victimhood, more just like lashing out and trying to control us and everything's an issue. When you bring more drama into our lives than peace, that's number 1, right? High value men don't want somebody that makes their lives more difficult. So if you are making someone's life, making your man's life more difficult than bringing peace, he's gonna dump you. He's gonna leave, he's gonna walk away. Before, during, after a relationship. If you are not bringing peace to that man's life, he doesn't want to be with you. It doesn't matter how hot some women are, right? I've been really fortunate in my 30 plus years of dating. I've dated some really, really high value women, and I was really, really impressed by them. Ultimately, it just wasn't a match. I've also dated some women where they were very, very good looking, but didn't bring a lot to the table in terms of raw partnership. They needed to be saved all the time. And eventually I lost attraction for those kind of women. I didn't want to be their savior all the time, okay? And then I've had some great relationships where, guess what? I've made mistakes too. And I lost good relationships. And then I had to learn, I had to grow, I had to level up. And now I have the best partner of all, right? For me, where I can work through something and conflict resolution, and we work hard and we play hard together, and it's very easy. She brings much more satisfying energy to my life than she does drama at all. And we work through a lot of that stuff, and it's amazing. The polarity is great, okay? And we've been through really challenging things. Anyways, I want you to think about these 5 things. I'm not calling out women, I'm not belittling women, but this is super, super important. If you're a dude, take heed of these things, and I want you guys to comment down below. If you think I'm being sexist or being too harsh, let me know. That's fair, right? And I'll try to tone it down. We can talk about it if you want. Or if you agree, I want to know why you agree and what you agree with, Tell me your story. Send me a DM if you want to work with me one-on-one, and I'll help you work through this stuff, okay? Sorry about the win. See you in the next one.
So this woman was in a restaurant. She's looking around and all she sees other women. Nobody on a date. No man and woman on a date. Just women that, as she said, dating each other. So the commentary is that men don't want to be on dates anymore. They don't want to go out with women because it's a waste of time and money. So my question is, do men ever like going on a date? Do men like going on dates? They like going to restaurants and trying different foods and things like that. Is it something that they only did because women like to do it? Like if I'm going to get in a relationship and I say I want to go to a restaurant, am I making him do something that he doesn't want to do? A lot of men say they just rather stay home. What do you guys think?
Let me just say this. If tomorrow women came out and said they no longer require men to take them to restaurants, I don't care if it's the first day, second day, if they're married or relationship, they just don't want to go to nice restaurants anymore for dinner. 90% of those restaurants will be closed in a month. Now, I'm not talking about fast food or casual dining like Chipotle's or something like that. I'm talking about fancy restaurants. Those restaurants will go out of business in a month. And that's because most men don't care about that. Of course, I can't speak for all men. I'm pretty sure there's some men out there who would still go to these restaurants by themselves, maybe for business and stuff like that. But as a whole, most men don't care about fine dining. Now, men care about good food. So if those restaurants serve those steaks or whatever they really like to go, men will be just fine. We don't need to sit in a restaurant and eat it. And of course, I'm not talking about all men. I'm just saying in general, most men don't care about that. So to answer your question, yes, most men are only going on those dates just to make the woman happy.
And you know, I think what also upsets men or confuses men is, you know, they get called toxic for a lot of the things that modern women are doing themselves. A lot of the things that modern women are doing themselves. It's a double standard. It's a terrible double standard. And men are tired of that crap. If you do something, you say something, you wear something, it'd be one thing if you just say, okay, it is what it is. It's a double standard, right? A man's able to do this, but a woman isn't. That's just the way it is. Modern women will fight to the death to be able to take advantage of that standard or whatever it is. But when a man says, okay, well, you know, why can't it go in reverse? Oh, that's just the way it is. We're women. So we can take everything that you have, but you can't take anything of what we have. It shouldn't be fair. Even though we say we want equality, what we mean is superiority.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what did you say?
How was the lie?
No, what did you say before that?
What?
What did you say before that?
I'm gonna take my walk.
Before that.
You wanna do it?
Right.
What?
What did you expect me to say? I said no, but what did you expect me to say?
I never know. What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a lot of difference.
You're making a video.
Anyway, exciting times over here, just off the live and catching up with emails and TikToks, and anyway, that's what I get. You want to do it? Marriage 101.
So you're telling me that a man who is your husband can ask you very plainly and straightforward without any pressure if you want to be intimate with him. It's just a clear yes or no answer, and he's not going to pressure you into it. He's on to the next topic, asking you how your life was. But you have to shame him because you are so offended that he asked you that question. How dare he? Because what? You're busy doing the things that are more important, which is talking on your TikTok live, your followers, your emails. This here is something that makes a man feel like nothing. And honestly, when he realizes that he's being filmed, you can hear the exhaustion in his voice. That is a man that had no problem taking the no, but then you made it a problem by shaming him online. Yeah, this is a problematic marriage when this is occurring. Absolutely. When you're finding the need to shame your husband for wanting you online, a husband being shamed for wanting to be with his wife in that way. Make it make sense.
If you grew up hearing the phrase men ain't, then chances are you are not in a healthy relationship or a healthy marriage right now. You're probably a single mother, or you've never been in a healthy relationship. Women learn how to be mothers from watching their mother or their auntie or their grandmother. They learn how to relate to men by watching their mother or their grandmother relate to men. So if you grew up hearing that phrase around your house, then that is what you think about men. Then that is something you internalize when you become an adult. I'm not a therapist or a PhD. I'm just somebody who has lived 60 plus years, and I've seen it in my own life. I've seen my parents' relationship I've seen my grandparents' relationship, my marriage with my husband, and I've seen how our daughter looks at us. So that's something to think about. Men learn to be fathers and husbands from their father or their grandfather. Women learn to be wives and mothers from their mother. So that is something to think about when you're raising kids. We need to raise kids to love each other and relate to each other in a healthy way. Your parents' trauma should not be given to you. Your grandmother's trauma in her relationship with your granddad should not be something you carry as an adult. Something to think about, folks.
Here are 3 things that women do that pisses us men off. And if you don't relate to it, it's probably because you've always been single. Let's go. Number 1, a woman absolutely pestering you to watch a film. Can we put a film on? Can you put a film on? You finally put a shitty film on. Because let's be real, they don't like actually watching decent films. You put a film on that they like, you don't really like it, but you'll sit there. Yeah, you'll sit there. 5 minutes later, they're on the phone. What's all that about? They mither to watch a film. You put a film on that you don't even want to watch, but you do it anyway because you're nice. And then they get their phone out after 5 minutes. Bang out of order. Number 2, when they ask you, if there's one celebrity you could be with, who would you be with? And I'll give an example, Margot Robbie. And they go, but she doesn't look anything like me. That's the whole point, love. And after moaning and whining all for a night out or going out for a nice meal, they'll be getting ready and they've got all the clothes out. Like, oh, what should I wear? Should I wear this one or wear that one? We don't care.
Is it good with the salt?
She's ready.
I'm sorry. What is that?
This is the smoked salmon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I still want to eat it. It's like I bit the onion. I bit the onion. It doesn't. You can't just bite into it.
And you know, a lot of these modern women continue to say, I want an alpha male, I want a masculine man, but call a man toxic. Call him toxic. Oh, that's toxic behavior. That's narcissistic behavior. How? Men, and they use these words and they know what they're doing. They use these words to get a man scared. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to be canceled on society. They use these words to get a man on his heels so they can control the man and manipulate the man. So men aren't playing these games anymore.
Ladies, what you say to him does affect him. He may not display it, but he will display it in another manner. And if you care enough about your guy, you will switch up and change the words that you say to him. Even if you feel like cussing this guy out, even if you feel like calling him stupid, even if you feel like calling him weak, whatever, even if you feel like that, you would muzzle your words and speak life to this guy.
You know these dumb women that say that women are the prize? How the could that ever be the case when a successful man is rare and women are everywhere? Just by that fact, that means that men are the prize. And you all know that you want a successful man, but a successful man is hard to find. And a successful man separates himself greatly from the average man. There is a huge gap in the difference between a successful man and a non-successful man. So what you women need to ask yourselves is, how can you separate yourselves from the average woman? What can you do that makes you rare, that might make you the prize?
She is not withholding from you. I am a divorced woman. I will tell you why this stopped and why the bedroom has begun. You remind her too much of her small children. All day long, she's at home, can barely take a shower, brush her teeth, or take it in peace without somebody screaming and crying.
What gets me about this mindset is how the do we emasculate your husband to the point that you're using and dangling in front of him like he's a child, and then get mad at him for acting childlike And basically, if he's not on good behavior, he doesn't get a reward. I mean, let's be so for real. At this point, some of y'all just need to start a color chart, and every time he's on blue or purple, which is good behavior, that means he can get some kind of, because that's how y'all treat it. Women will almost never acknowledge the part that they play in it, where they manipulate a man by dangling in front of him until they win him over, and then once they get settled in and real life happens, she stops having sex because she faked her entire personality to win you over. Only then, later on, she can use it against you and say that you're controlling her through sex, that you're coercing her, that you're forcing her, that you're not emotionally available, you're rude, you're selfish for initiating, even though she set the standard to begin with. Oh, right, but, you know, faking your entire personality and how much you want to have in a relationship just to win a man over isn't manipulative at all. Okay. And I don't know what woman needs to understand this, but if you're withholding to get your husband or your boyfriend to act a certain way, you're being manipulative as you're emasculating him, you're not making him happy in the relationship, and he's not going to do things for you if you're going to make him feel like. Okay, bye.
All right, y'all, the question is this: why do women punish the men they like? And I got an answer for you. Let's get into it. Women tend to be more jealous, possessive, act insecure around or about a guy that she actually likes. It is harder for that woman to regulate her emotions about a man that she's actually really interested in. So therefore, she gets angry about you not texting back. Angry about you missing a call and not calling her back. Upset that you're not being consistent. Upset that you're not making plans with her. Questioning you more about your whereabouts and what you got going on and who you talking to and what you got. All of the above. It just keeps going. I'll tell you this. A woman don't care that much about a guy she don't like.
You know, a lot of these brothers, they'll date a woman or they'll be trying to take a woman out for months. Because the woman will say, well, I really want to get to slow down, get to know you. You mean after, you know, you've been pumped and dumped. But okay, let's go with that. Date that man for months, and after months of him courting you, which is really what he was doing, he was courting you. And now all of a sudden, oh man, I hate to say this, but just not the man for me. They want a man to keep on sinking money into them and be okay when they decide it's not working. It's not working. Are you going to give him his money back? No. That's just the way dating goes.